Broadcasting live from the beautiful Hyatt Regency Savannah for Georgia Economic Developers Association 2022 Conference. It's time for Association Leadership Radio. Brought to you by the Georgia Center for Employee Ownership. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Association Leadership Radio, and we're so excited to be here at this event, the Georgia Economic Developers Association's annual conference, and so excited to be talking to our next guest, Stacy Watson, Georgia Ports Authority. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, for folks who aren't familiar, can you tell us a little bit about Georgia Ports Authority? How are you serving folks?
Yeah, I'm the Director of Economic Development with the Georgia Ports. Been with the Georgia Ports for about, a little over 30 years now. So I've seen our terminal, our port, and our business just grow phenomenally over that 30-year time period. In Savannah, Georgia, which is where we're having this conference, we are the third busiest gateway for international trade, right here in Savannah. After Los Angeles, Long Beach, which is one gateway on the West Coast, you've got New York, New Jersey up in the Northeast, Southeast, Savannah doing about 5.8 million TEUs, 5.8 20-foot containers on an annual basis. So, I like to tell people we're kind of a big deal in this area.
Right, but you're a big deal where the average Georgian probably doesn't understand the impact of having a port like this in our state. Can you share a little bit about the importance of the ports and how they impact not only just the state but the region? Yeah,
it is. The governor of the state of Georgia, who's our boss, Governor Brian Kemp, one of his top priorities is working with small business. Okay, we work with small business, medium-sized businesses, larger businesses to offer services, to offer facilities, to offer resources for international trade. Okay, we work with the Georgia Department of Economic Development. We work with many different sources to facilitate, to have the appropriate facilities, to have, the ship-to-shore cranes, to have the land, to have the IT infrastructure, working with the Georgia Department of Transportation, just to create a positive economic impact on the state for employment, for investment, and just having a great platform for the state of Georgia to attract new business and a great platform for those new businesses and existing businesses to thrive and to grow.
And just recently with the dredging, so you were able to get the depth,
yes,
the right depth. That was a game-changing thing. And again, I don't think the average Georgian understands or appreciates the importance of something like that happening.
Yes, that was huge for us. In international trade, just like in any other business, there are economies of scale. All right, the more containers that you can fit, or a shipping line that can fit on one container, one vessel, the more profitable really that they are. They can handle more freight on a single vessel versus deploying 2-3 vessels to handle that same amount of freight. And that's just an example. So the trend in international trade and international shipping is larger ships. We in Savannah, we work the largest vessels that can call on the East Coast. And those are about 16,000 20-foot containers capacity on board a ship. Those ships are getting larger. As they get larger, they get deeper. And we have to compete with other port cities and other port complexes for business. So if we're not deep enough, if we don't have the adequate infrastructure on the water side to accommodate those deep draft vessels, then that vessel will go to another port that has that infrastructure, and we will miss out on opportunities. So fortunately, last year, 18 months ago, we completed what we call our SHEP program, the Savannah Harbor Expansion Plan, and we deepened our river to a depth of 47 feet at low tide. So that was a huge game changer for us. It allowed us to continue handling vessels that had been, originally coming through the port, and it allowed us to actually work larger vessels that actually coincided with the Panama Canal's expansion. The Panama Canal got a new set of locks about 4 years ago. 2016, 2017 time period. So we do more business with the Panama Canal than any other port in the United States. So the ability to handle the types of vessels and the size of vessels that are transiting the Panama Canal hit Savannah first. It was a win-win for the state and a win-win for the Georgia Ports Authority.
And the ramifications of not doing it would have been a domino effect that would have impacted not only the state, but the region, right?
Most definitely. Most definitely. There's a lot of infrastructure outside of our terminal gates that is really dependent on a productive and efficient port. In the local area, within a 30-mile radius, there's about 90 million square feet of industrial space, warehouses and distribution centers that is actually existing. And over the next 11 to 12 months, there will be another 10 or 12 million square feet that will be delivered. And about half of that is already pre-leased. So by having the adequate infrastructure on the terminal, by having the deep water, by having the equipment, we're supporting jobs. We're supporting investment outside of our terminal gates, especially regionally. Lots of import distribution centers, lots of manufacturing. We do about 35% of our business with Northeast Asia, which is the manufacturing capital of the world, if you would. And those connections to those markets is actually a benefit not only to the ports, but to the citizens of Georgia and especially the local area.
Now, talk about the Georgia Economic Developers Association. Why was it so important for you to get involved in a leadership position with that association? Oh,
this is the organization that allows continuing education. It allows us to network. It allows us to benchmark best practices, and it allows us to get our message out. Logistics is very important to the state of Georgia and the local area, and my voice is heard as far as the representation for the Georgia Ports Authority on the economic development side. So those connections, Georgia has 159 counties, which is a lot of counties, and each one of those counties, the majority of those counties, have development authorities. So we have to tap into those resources to allow those development authorities to actually go out and market their sites, market their buildings to, my preference would be a port user. My preference would be a high volume, high velocity port user. So, it's options, development authorities, communities like manufacturing, they like logistics, they like call centers. So having a diverse industry base is highly desired within the economic development community. So we've got our little slice of that pie with the logistics and the manufacturing, and this is a great platform for us to promote everything that we do and our capabilities and assist those communities so that they're ready for new opportunities. Now, any advice for members or new members on how they can get the most out of their membership? What would you recommend if you were going to advise a young person or maybe somebody new to the association to wring out the most value? Oh, yeah, that's easy. Network. The economic development business is all about relationships. You develop relationships, you build rapport, you're, connecting with the property developers, you're connecting with site selection consultants, you're connecting with your colleagues around the state. So definitely get out there, go to the dinners, go to the lunches, go to all the classes that are offered, and become a part of the organization and help and assist the economic development efforts of the state. I mean, it's an important career. It's an important sector for the success of the state of Georgia. And it's a pretty tight-knit community, but it's also a welcoming community as well. So we welcome these folks with open arms. We've got a lot of new people. I've been in this business, the economic development business, about 20 years. I've been with the Georgia Ports 30 years. So it's good to see a lot of the old faces. I'm becoming one of the old faces, but it's also great to see a lot of new young people enter into this industry. So now, are you seeing young people gravitate to kind of logistics, supply chain
or is it something that there's an opportunity maybe for the association to really kind of lean into or help educate and incent young people to get involved in this industry?
In the logistics industry or economic development industry?
Just in both, really.
Yeah, the logistics industry, yes, we definitely want to encourage as many young people as we can.
Because it may not be top of their radar.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we're doing. This is a separate initiative that I'm working on with some of our colleagues with Georgia Power, some of our colleagues with some of the private industry and some of the development authorities in the area to promote logistics as a career, not just a job. To promote the logistics industries like a career ladder. You can start out working on the trucks, loading and offloading trucks, but there's also opportunities to get up to equipment operators, to foremen, eventually management, working on the IT side, all those support industries. So, that's one thing that we haven't done a great job of, not just in the state of Georgia, but in the country, is promoting logistics as a career.
Right, because it's not your grandfather's logistics. Like this isn't like back in the day with the carrying boxes and lifting heavy things. There's a lot of robotics. There's a lot of kind of new technology.
Exactly.
So that means that it's open to women as well as men, and it's an opportunity for women that they're probably not even considering it a lot of times. You got it. You hit the nail on the head. I need to interview you and get a testimony from you as well. But that's where the opportunity lies, right? Where this is a whole pool of candidates that maybe haven't been touched before or even aware. On the IT side, on the maintenance side, yes, there are many opportunities, and just that perception that, if I'm in logistics, I'm going to be, moving a box, I'm going to be driving a forklifter. Yes, you might do that, but that's not all that you can do within that career field. So what do you need more of? How can we help you? We just need more people. We need more people working, more population. And workforce is an issue, not just locally, but regionally and statewide. The average age of a truck driver is 56, 57 years old, and not a lot of younger people are getting into the industry. And we're starting to see technology again kind of fill in that gap. We're working with, folks companies that are looking at autonomous vehicles or vehicles that, you can one following the other. I forget the term of it. You'll have a driver in the first vehicle, and the second vehicle will basically be trailing that first vehicle. So with challenges also come opportunities for innovation. Sure. And we are actually seeing that play out firsthand in the logistics industry. So if somebody wants to connect with you or learn more about what you got going on, what's the best way to do that? Contact me. Shoot me an email. SWATSON at GAPORTS.com. swatson@gaports.com. And if they want to learn more about the Ports Authority, that's the website as well? Yep, www.gaports.com. All right, good stuff, Stacy. Thank you so much for sharing your story. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you for having me. All right, this is Lee Cantor. We'll be back in a few at Association Leadership Radio.